Hi, welcome to your practice on or around the new moon. This practice will offer a well-rounded Hatha yoga practice and help us to hopefully turn a little bit more inward as the new moon, when we can't see the moon, encourages us to do, turn a little bit more inward for reflection and setting our intentions or kind of recalibrating as we move into the next cycle. So with that, we will begin seated. And just to check in, so for props today or this evening, whenever you're practicing, you might want to have a blanket or a cushion under the seat. I do have a couple blocks here to bring the floor up to me if I need them. Always welcome to have a scarf or a strap to lengthen the arms for reach. So grab what you need around you as we start to settle in. So as you find yourself seated nice and tall, feel your sit bones and your legs get a little bit more grounded, a little bit more in contact with what's beneath you, your stability, your foundation. And then from there, feel a gentle lift up through the spine. So nothing rigid, but just a gentle lift up through the top of the head, and soften the shoulders. You can close the eyes or gently gaze down towards the floor. And take a moment to notice the sounds around you, whether inside or outside of your room. And then begin to let those sounds fade into the background as we start to tune into our breath. So let your breath be as it is and notice where you begin your practice in your breath today. So maybe the breath is feeling a little shallow or sped up if you've been very active or had a stressful day so far. Maybe you're feeling dull and lethargic, a little bit low energy, which is fine. Maybe the breath is feeling smooth and easy. We simply notice where we begin. And we'll begin to smooth out the breath. So bring the hands in front of you for a little bit of feedback. And as you sit up tall, shoulders soft, as you inhale, let the hands move a little closer towards one another without touching, like you're holding something very fragile. And as you exhale, allow the hands to gently float away from each other. So inhale, feel the hands gravitate towards one another. And on your exhale, feel the hands move away. And you can watch your hands if that's helpful, or simply close the eyes. And you'll notice as the movement smooths out, your breath smooths out. And as your breath smooths, the movement smooths. So there's a feedback loop here. A few more breaths like that. And then release the hands and keep that easy breath as we begin to move in this seated position. So the next time you breathe in, sweep the arms wide and up overhead, shoulders relax. And as you exhale, side bend to your right. So hand can touch the floor or a block. Inhale, come back through center, working with your breath, and exhale, side bend to the left. And so continue with your breath, like a reed of grass, swaying in the breeze. And let that hip that you're sliding away from be grounded, right? So if I side bend to the right, my left hip settles down a little bit more. And once you've done an equal amount to both sides, come back through center, inhale, and then exhale, we'll twist to the right. Bring the hand, one hand behind you, one hand to the opposite knee. Come back through center. And then as you exhale again, twist the opposite direction. And move with your breath. So use that feedback loop of smooth breath, smooth movement. And we begin to notice how the body is feeling today. Once you've done an equal amount to both sides, there's no rush. Come back through center, reach the arms up again, and then exhale, release the hands to the knees. Inhale, lift the heart, maybe lift the chin, and exhale, round the spine. So move into variation on cat-cow here in a seated position. If you'd like to add the pelvic rock, you can, rocking the pelvis forward and back. The next time you inhale, lift the heart, bring your hands behind you to the floor or to blocks. Lift the heart, press into the fingertips, breathe. And then tuck your chin, come forward, walk the hands forward and forward fold. Any amount. The elbows can bend here. One more time like that. On your next inhale, come up, walk your hands back, lift the heart, ground down through your seat, and then exhale. Slowly fold forward. Inhale to come on back up, and we'll roll over our ankles and come onto hands and knees here. So hands and knees a comfortable distance apart to where you feel stable. And we'll take just a few rounds of cat-cow here. So inhale, lift the heart. Exhale, press into the hands and the knees, round the spine. A couple more rounds like that. And maybe you draw outside the lines now. So maybe you start to roll through the torso like you're scraping out the barrel here, or inside of a pint of ice cream. We all need it sometimes. Just warming up through the spine, and then come back to center. Find that long spine, gentle curve at the back of the neck and the low back. Walk your hands forward. You're welcome to stay here in this extended table or press the hips up and back into downward facing dog. And keep the knees a little bit bent. So you feel like you're not rounding too much in the back, but you're bending the knees, keeping them soft. Press the hands to move the hips back and let your head and neck release. And then you may extend one leg and then the other here. Come back through center. Walk the hands back towards your feet into a forward fold. Go ahead and bend the knees again. Let the knees be soft, head heavy. You can shake the head yes and no. Nice, easy breath. Take as many breaths as you need to start to round up the spine. Let the arms be heavy. Let the head come up last as you come all the way to standing. Okay? So you're at the back of your practice space. We're just going to roll through the shoulders here in one direction. You can start to make these bigger by bringing the hands to the shoulders and really roll. Circle through the elbows. And then other direction. Soften in the knees. And then go ahead and release your arms. As you inhale, lift the chin, lift the heart. And as you exhale, soften around the neck, round the shoulders, bend the knees, bend at the hips, and start to roll down, keeping everything soft. And then press into the feet. Keep everything nice and soft as you start to round back up. Stack the head above the shoulders. Exhale, round and soften, soften, soften to the floor like you're melting. And then inhale, soften your way back up. This time you might round over to the right. So rounding the head, the shoulders, bending through the hips, the knees, the ankles, and then coming up the right side, standing in mountain, and then rounding over, bending, 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 sinking, melting down to the left, And then come on back up and standing up in mountain pose. Inhale, sweep the arms up and overhead. Exhale, like you're diving or you're rounding over a big ball. Round in the upper back, tuck the chin, round the arms. And then inhale, like you're coming up out of the water. Reach the arms wide, lift the heart. So exhale, like you're taking a dive forward in the upper body, tuck your chin. Inhale, come on back up, widen through the arms and the heart. One more, exhale, round up and over. And then inhale, come on back up, reach wide. Nice, release the arms down, roll through the shoulders. And just take a moment to notice and to feel here. So we've moved through all motions or movements of the spine, flexion, extension, laterals, and then twisting. So notice if you feel a little bit more awake and how the breath is moving too. And then we'll make our way to the top of our practice space. So this may be where if you like blocks underneath the hands, you can bring your blocks or a stack of books or a low table in front of you here. We'll stand at the top of our mats in mountain pose. Feet a comfortable distance apart so you feel stable. Hands to heart center. Inhale here, lift the heart. Exhale, soften the shoulders without jamming them. So just a softness. Inhale, sweep the arms up and overhead, look up. Exhale, tuck the chin and forward fold. Bend the knees, soften the knees. Lift the heart forward and step your right foot back and the knee comes down. On an inhale, press into the floor as you reach the arms up, torso lifts, and then plant the hands to the floor. Let's step back to table or downward facing dog. So if you're not inverting today, you can come to table right here. Okay. On an inhale, we'll all come to all fours. And then on exhale, walk your hands forward and wide and keep your hips high as you start to lower the heart and the head any amount. So it doesn't need to be far, just go to where you can still breathe and find space. On an inhale, walk your hands back, nice and stable, and press back to downward facing dog. Look forward, step your right foot forward, back knee down, and come to your lunge with the right foot forward. Reach the arms up, torso lifts, and we'll plant the hands and step up, heart reaches forward, and forward fold from here. Inhale, little bend in the knees as you rise to stand, reach the arms up, and hands come to heart center. Nice, so first side on a variation on a salutation. Just take a moment to notice how you feel. And then we'll move to the other side. So reach the arms wide and up overhead. And from here, forward fold, release your head and neck. Reach your heart forward as you send your left foot back and the knee comes down. And then press into the feet as you reach the arms and torso up, Anjaneyasana. Plant the hands to the floor and step back to downward facing dog or table, your choice. Take a breath here. And then rock forward onto your hands and knees. Keep the low belly engaged a bit as you walk the hands forward and start to lower the heart any amount. Anahatasana. Nice, easy breath as you walk the hands back, lift the chest, and then send the hips up and back, downward facing dog. Look forward, step your left foot forward, back knee down, and then press down into the floor to reach the arms and the torso up. Release your hands to the floor, blocks as you step up and forward fold, and press into the feet to come all the way to standing in mountain pose. Nice. So from here, reach the arms up and overhead. Forward fold again, release your head and neck. Lift halfway, lengthen. Now keep the breath easy. Shift the weight into the left foot. And keep the weight in the left foot as you step your right foot back. You can set the heel down if you wish in that back foot. Press into your front foot to come on up into your warrior one. Yes? So warrior one here, you may find that your shoulders would like to have the arms out to a T or out into a cactus shape. All right. or arms up and overhead, or hands at your hips. So lots of variation. We just want to feel very grounded here in the feet, okay? So as you're ready, reaching the arms up and overhead, and then as you exhale, straighten that front leg, release the arms down by your sides strongly, okay? Inhale, reach the arms up as you press into the feet. Exhale, engage the low belly, the arms, as you straighten that front leg, lower the arms down. 2 more. So simple movement, and yet turning the focus inward so we can activate all the muscles around the bones in the body. And then the next time you come into Warrior One, stay. Lean the shoulders forward a bit. Feel a little bit of space in the low back. And then maybe lift the heart from there. Nice, steady breath. And then release. Release the hands to the floor, step back to table or downward facing dog. Look back to the floor or back towards your feet. Deep breath in and out. Then we'll take the other side. So this time, step your right foot forward behind the right wrist. You can turn that back heel down, adjust your stance. Press the floor away as you come up to your Warrior One, and find your first version of Warrior One, right? So the arms may be wide or up or down, your choice. But really start to feel into the lower body, that it's supporting you, very stable. And then we'll begin to move. So the next time you inhale, reach the arms up, and then exhale, strong legs, strong arms. As you straighten that front leg, lower the arms down. Inhale, Warrior One. Take the full inhale to make it to Warrior One. Exhale and come out. Okay, so arms and legs really strong, spine nice and long. This time, stay in your Warrior One. Again, arm variation of your choice. And lean the shoulders forward a bit, so maybe lengthening in the low back. Okay? And then from here, lift the heart. Shine the heart forward here. Notice what muscles are working for you, and also where you can soften some tension, where you don't need to work. And then release the hands to the heart. Let's step up, mountain pose. Inhale and exhale here. Inhale, sweep the arms up and overhead. Exhale, forward fold. Lift halfway, lengthen, and we'll step the right foot back. This time, turn the heel down, back heel down. And let's cartwheel the arms and the torso up to Warrior Two. So I'm going to turn to face you here, Warrior Two. So find your steady stance. Again, simple movement here, simple, not so much of a simple posture, I guess. There's a lot going on, okay? But let it be easy within that challenge. So if you want more challenge, you can bend into that front knee a little more. If not, come out of that, all right? But find an acceptable challenge for you today. All right, stable lower body here. As we inhale, we rotate the palms up, lift the heart, maybe the chin, and then exhale, rotate the palms down and back, round the upper back. Tuck the chin. So continue, use your entire breath for the movement. So the breath guides the movement here rather than just moving in and out without minding what we're doing. Hopefully feeling the legs working a bit. And then come back to center, palms face down. Straighten that front leg a little bit. Walk your back heel forward. Okay, just to shorten the stance a bit for triangle pose. Reach that front arm forward. That bottom hand now can come above or below the knee or come to the block or to the floor. And the top arm reaches for the sky. So find a stable position for the legs here. And then we'll start to move in the upper body. So as you inhale, reach that top arm overhead. And as you exhale, rotate the heart towards the sky. You can reach the hand up or all the way to that back hip. Inhale, lengthen, come out of the twist. And exhale, rotate into the twist. 2 more like that. So mind in the spine here. Maybe you can visualize or sense your spine within the body. Noticing what's rotating. Legs supporting you here. And then reach out through that top arm. And release back to downward facing dog. Downward facing dog or tabletop pose. And take a moment. Notice any difference between right and left side here. And then look forward. Step your left foot forward, back heel down. And let's come up to warrior 2 on the other side. So adjust your stance. You may want wider or shorter stance. You may want to offset the feet. So make this pose your own. And then when you feel ready, look towards the wide edge of your mat. Inhale, lift the heart. Rotate the palms up. Exhale, round the upper back. Tuck the chin. Rotate the palms back. And then keep going just like that. Back and forth. Notice what's supporting you. The floor, the legs, the hips, the belly. And from there, finding free movement for the upper body and the breath. Come back to center, look forward, extend that front leg, and then heel toe your back foot up until you shorten the stance a bit. Lean forward over that front leg now and place the left hand above or below the knee. You can reach for ankle or floor. Top arm reaches for the sky. My doggies are moving around today, moving from nap spot to nap spot. So legs and hips nice and strong as you reach that top arm overhead. And then as you exhale, rotate the heart up. Maybe the arm reaches up or comes back. And this could be done with a bent elbow as well, if that is better for your shoulder today. Okay. Our intention is simply to have a little bit of internal awareness here of what's supporting us, lower body, the floor, the breath, what's able to move from that support. Inhale, coming back to your triangle pose, and then release. Soften that front knee and come back to downward facing dog. Take a moment here. You might come to tabletop pose. You might come to child's pose if you'd like a little moment. And then look forward. You can take a walk towards the top of your mat and forward fold, release your head and neck. Bend the knees and rise to stand. Reach on up and hands heart center here. Okay, so we're going to take a little bit of a balance in warrior 3, and then we'll move on to half moon. So if you have a wall, you're welcome to and encouraged to use that wall if it's a little bit breezy in your world today, okay? Wobbling is totally normal. It means your body's working. It's figuring things out, okay? So take that wall nearby if you would like, okay? Let's walk back to the middle of our mats here and come back into mountain pose, or the middle of your wall if you're using it. Go ahead and reach the arms up and overhead. And from here, soften in the knees, soften in the shoulders. So get a little bounce here, feel a little ease. And then shift your weight into your right foot. Take a step forward with your left foot. And then start to shift your weight onto that left foot until you lift your right leg behind you. So we're on a bit of a diagonal. Notice if the body wants to open out to the side. We're not quite there yet. So square the shoulders and the hips front. And you can stay a little bit more upright Or you can start to hinge forward even more. I've got an obstacle here, so I'm gonna bring my arms out to cactus shape. Lean forward a little more if you like into warrior three. So all of those previous standing postures, we've done preparatory movements to find length and space all along the body. Okay. Use that now to lengthen from the back leg all the way through the top of the head. And now we're going to come out the same way we came in. So soften that front knee, unhinge, and step back onto that right foot gently and come back to mountain pose. Nice. So take a moment here. So that left leg hopefully felt a little bit of work. And we'll take the other side. So I'm going to back up a little bit so I have a little more space to move. Inhale, sweep the arms overhead. And then soften the knees and the shoulders. Take a step forward, a little step forward with your right foot, and then lift up. That left leg reaches behind you. Okay, and just notice how you're doing here. Breath is paramount. So if you find that you're gripping, you might tap that foot to the floor, refocus on your breath, and then if you choose, start to lean forward into your warrior three. So even though this back leg is lifted, we do keep it strong. It can help with balance as well. Nice, easy breath. Unhinge, soften that front knee, step back with the left foot into mountain pose. Great. Now you're welcome to take that warrior three again on each side if you'd like to work on that balance. Otherwise, we'll move on to half moon. Okay, so we've done a lot of preparatory work for that. I'm going to move to the wall just to demonstrate that option. Okay, so if you're out in the middle of your space, just come to the middle of your mat. And you'll turn, we'll take our left foot and we'll turn it forward and take a little step back, kind of a short warrior one, okay? Or warrior two stance, I guess it would be. Short warrior two, so that front knee is bent. Now notice if I'm at the wall, I have a little space between my foot and the wall, so I have room for my body, okay, to move up against the wall there. So I'm not totally up against the wall with my foot. All right, so hands to my hips, bend into that front knee like a teapot, tipping off to the side. Start to tip at the hip and reach your bottom hand forward a little bit on your block or on the floor. Look where you want to go and start to shift the weight onto the bottom hand and bottom foot and lift that back leg. Okay, so warrior three, we were facing the floor with the body. Now we're opening out any amount. But the back leg is strong. You can always lean into the wall if you need to for a minute, and then shift your weight. Maybe that top arm reaches for the sky. So let your breath be easy here. Let your body move and adjust. And then soften in the bottom hand, bottom knees. Start to put the back foot down and just come on up. Nice work. Step forward to mountain pose and just take a moment to come back to the earth. A few breaths here. And now we'll take the other side. So again, if you'd like to use the wall, each side might be a little bit different for you. So take the options that you need. And we'll turn the right toes forward, take that left foot back, open the body out into kind of a short warrior two stance. Hands to the hips, start to tilt, bend at that hip crease over to the right. Walk your right hand to the floor to a block and then begin to shift your weight. Back leg lifts. Maybe that top arm reaches for the sky here. And let your gaze, if you need a little more stability, let your gaze come to the floor. Soften the back of the neck. And when you're ready to come out, soften that bottom knee, start to unhinge, set the back foot down, and step to your mountain pose. Nice work, nice work. So let's make our way back to the earth after all that flying. Inhale, sweep the arms up and overhead. Exhale, forward fold. Lift halfway, lengthen, and then plant the hands and step back to a plank pose. Top of a push-up. And we'll lower the knees, bend the elbows, lower the hips, the heart, the belly to the floor. Just kind of slink your way to the earth. So we'll come into Sphinx pose here, variations of Sphinx pose. Let the feet be about hip distance apart, tops of the feet down. And let's start actually with crocodile pose, just to feel the extension. So you can cross at the forearms and let your head rest on the forearms or a block. Okay, but let your head rest on something. And I'm gonna lift my head here to talk, but let your head rest on something and let the whole body settle into the floor for a moment. And while we do wobble in the balance postures, we're resisting gravity quite a bit. Notice the complete polar opposite here, that we're very supported, very stable, low to the ground. And notice how that affects your mind and your breath. Can you turn a little more inward? Now this may be enough of an extension for you. This is already a bit of a back bend. Okay, so you might stay here. You might start to lift your head and bring your hands out in front of you, forearms parallel, and begin to lift the chest a little bit. Okay, so moving towards Sphinx pose. Now, right now, my elbows are ahead of my shoulders, which is fine if that's better for me. I can also walk my elbows back a little bit further underneath my shoulders. So find what works for you. You want to not feel scrunched in the low back. So feel like the pose is sustainable. The height of the chest really is irrelevant. And then settle into your pose. So the legs are lengthening out behind you. The pelvis settles to the floor. The heart gently reaches forward as the gaze is over the bridge of the nose. Let everything start to slow down. And keep that steadiness. We're going to heat things up a bit if you wish. So you can stay here in this posture or start to bring the elbows underneath the shoulders. You can interlace the fingers. Press into the forearms. Press into the knees and lift the belly, the hips off of the floor into a forearm plank. So you might stay here. You might tuck the toes and lift the knees. So a little bit more interesting to find a smooth, steady breath, but do the best you can. And then soften the knees to the floor, the hips, the belly, and release back into crocodile pose. Big breath in, rest the head on something. Big breath out. Ha. And then we'll take that one more time. So walk the elbows back underneath you, interlace the fingers, really press into the floor, lift the low belly, the hips, maybe tuck the toes and lift the knees. And when you're ready, release knees, hips, belly and chest. Make a pillow with the hands, rest your head, and then bend the knees and just let the feet sway from side to side. Nice and slow. Come back to center here, place the hands underneath you. Use your belly to press up and come to a seated position. So we're back to seated for a moment. We'll take a seated twist. So you can cross the legs comfortably, place something underneath the hips if you like to sit up a little taller. And as you inhale, sweep the arms up and overhead. So we've been here before. As you exhale, take your twist. So twisting to, I'm going to the right, but we'll do both sides. And this time we'll remain in the twist for a bit. So twist can have this beautiful energetic quality of encouraging us to turn inward if we choose. So as you inhale, again, visualize, sense, or see your spine getting a little taller. You may even come out of the twist for a moment. And as you exhale, rotate in on yourself. So turning inward as you rotate into the twist. Last breath here. And then release slowly. Turn the head forward, shoulders and belly. Inhale and exhale. If you like, you can uncross and recross the shins. Reach the arms overhead when you're ready. And then take your twist to the other side. Release your hands down. And again, turning inward right away. Inhaling to feel the length of your spine, sit bones grounded. And exhale, use your belly muscles, core muscles, back muscles for the twist. Let's turn our heads to the center, release your shoulders, release the twist. And we'll lengthen the legs out in front of us. The feet can be a little bit wider than the hips or in line with the hips, depending on what you're feeling today. And the legs don't have to be straight. Legs don't have to be straight. You may even find if the hamstrings are tight today that you want to bring blocks or a cushion underneath the knees or the thighs to give you a little more support, okay? So find a comfortable distance for the feet and the legs. And as you inhale, reach on up. And as you exhale, forward fold. So it's very easy to allow tension or find tension creeping up into the head and the neck and the shoulders. We want to grip because we think going farther is better. But where can you back off a little bit? Where can you back off a little bit? As the dogs come over and say hello. So take a few more breaths here in your forward fold. And then as you inhale, walk yourself back up. And we'll go ahead and lay down onto our backs. Yay! So you made it onto your back here. I'm going to sit up because the doggies seem to need attention right now. But you lay down on your back. And go ahead and bring your knees in towards your chest. And then bring the soles of your feet together. Let your knees come out wide into a butterfly pose. So you can reach between the knees for the shins, the ankles, or the soles of the feet. So you're on your back with the knees wide, soles of the feet together. And so feel free to take some movement if you want to rock from side to side or be still. Again, slowing things down. So allowing everything to slow down. And after all of our movement, maybe the mind is allowed to turn a little more inward. And then when you're ready, bring your knees back together in towards your chest, hug them in. And then we'll lengthen one leg long and then the other. and come into our relaxation pose. So you're lying on your back. If you'd like to grab a blanket to place over the body or something behind the head or over the eyes, go ahead and take that. Make yourself supremely comfortable. Go ahead and make your final adjustments. Do you guys want to sit too? Want to sit? Sit. And then we'll all practice Shavasana together. So begin to consciously allow your body to rest. So allow yourself to know that the work is done. You've done enough. And now it's time to rest. Allow the breath to soften and relax, letting go of all extra effort. Breath moving in and out of the nose. And gradually, the chest becomes more quiet as the belly is soft. And then bringing your awareness to the soles of your feet. So really turning inward now, letting the outside world go for a moment. As you soften the feet from the inside out, feel the space between the toes. Soften around the ankles, the calves, the shins. Backs of the knees. Soften the inner and outer thighs. We did a lot with the legs, the lower body today. So allow your legs to soften into the support of the earth beneath you. Breath is easy as you relax around the hips and the low belly. Feel that gentle curve at the low back. Once again, bringing awareness to your belly. Let your breath move easy there. So watch the belly expand as you inhale and soften as you exhale. Allow there to be space around the rib cage and around the armpits. Mid-back, upper back heavy into the floor. And then let your arms become even more heavy from the shoulders, upper arms, elbows and forearms. Back of the hands heavy. And relax out through the fingertips. Again, breath is easy as you move your awareness back up the arms to the tops of the shoulders and the sides of your neck. Softening where you discover, notice tension or grip. Relax your jaw, your tongue, the inner and outer corners of the eyes. Breath is easy and soft. As you relax the forehead, front, sides, and back of your head. Feel your whole body resting on your mat or on your practice space. And then for the next few moments, simply feel as if your whole body is breathing. Again, the breath is so soft and effortless, no work. You're simply watching the body breathe. Just 1 minute here. And you are welcome to stay here as long as you like. We have relaxed back string tortilla, it seems to. But it is time to move on. Allow the breath to begin to deepen in the belly. Then begin to move the thumbs across the tips of the fingers and wiggle your toes. You can gently rock your head from side to side, roll through the ankles and the wrists, and then take a full body stretch. Full body stretch, moving as you need to come back. And then when you're ready, we'll roll to one side and make our way to a nice tall seat. Sitting up nice and tall here. And coming back to where we began, right? So bring the hands out in front of you again as we did at the beginning of practice. And as you exhale, as you feel the exhale come, draw the hands apart. And as you feel the inhale come, gently draw the palms towards one another without touching. So there's a little space, a little energy between the hands. Notice if you've cultivated any difference in the breath, any difference in the quality or pace of your thoughts, any difference in the body. And then allow your breath to be easy as you draw your hands to heart center as we close. Thank you so much for practicing with me today and for this new moon practice, which can be done anytime, but especially around the new moon, to draw our attention more inward, extend into our space, but also be able to come back to our center. Thank you so much. I look forward to practicing with you again soon. You can bow your forehead to seal in the benefits of your practice. Namaste.